And please feel free to raise your hand, right, and ask the question. We'll give you the priority, like what who is attending live. Okay, so maybe let me ask, like, anyone has any question related to any of the things which we have or Ragnar has spoken till now. I think let's talk about that first. If you have any question, please raise your hand, unmute yourself. Feel free to ask the question. Nothing? Okay. Uh, yeah, go ahead, Soman.
Yeah, so good evening, good morning, or good evening, Saurabh or Ragnar. Really, it's some great sessions and insightful, great insightful. Yeah, so my question is related to for the, definitely Microsoft are releasing our, small AI agent to streamline the operations, right? But definitely, first question is that how to build an agent, like, when complex automation or complex workflows came to the picture from the business, then definitely we'll create a, one agentic AI. Agentic AI has came to the picture. So how to, is there any, you're planning for any demonstration sessions, how to create a agent and to suffice the requirement of the business? So, and then second question is that where we'll have to create a agent, it's for the MCP or something, in other platform. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, I'm not sure, Ragnar, you want to go first? You can answer that, and then maybe I can add two
Yeah,
cents from my end, possibly for
yeah.
these two things.
I think it's definitely something I'm very interested in, and this is something we are going to start an agent office hours for Dynamics. And the goal there is we want to showcase how to build these agents and stuff. And one of the biggest limitations so far had been having that access and having that. Providing enough people with the right environment, but we will definitely solve that. But I have a very big interest in sharing that. And like we mentioned, the agents will definitely come from the community. The actual real working, real useful agents will come from the community. And we are very clear on that. And we really want to support that as well. But for now, we wanted to like bring some understanding internally to see, okay, what all agents we can build, and then partners and customers can go build their own. So I think it's going to start soon, where we will have a lot more videos and everything. We will also be launched I will also share something on LinkedIn on Monday, where we have instructions on how to do configuration for enabling these pre-built agents or first party agents that we have in Dynamics.
Great,
Yeah.
great, Ragnar. Thank you very much.
And just to add to that, what I'm doing today is just start doing things. Okay, there is nothing better you can do in this time that you start getting your hands dirty in this domain. So first thing is, if you are talking purely Microsoft ecosystem, the Copilot Studio is something which you need to start learning, right? If you are talking specifically to build any agent or anything, right? The Copilot Studio is the one of the basic thing which you can start learning. So first, start learning what Copilot Studio is, how you can use it, what component it has. Start building few small bot itself, maybe just a question answer only, right? No need to like automate something or solve something which is going to be like very big or something, right? Start building something, start practicing. Okay, I have a playlist on the YouTube to just to explain that what Copilot Studio is, what the basics of that, what is the topic, knowledge, and everything. You can go through that. I have built a small agent in that, right? But one of the thing which I have shared in my first session of this mentorship, there is a program from Microsoft called as Power Up Program. And I don't know like how many of you have actually clicked on that link, right? This is a wonderful program. Microsoft is running this program to to teach you how to build the agent using Copilot Studio. I have put a link in this. If you don't have any structure, program, or anything, you are just looking for getting started with the Copilot Studio and building agent and not related to Dynamics, at least understanding how to build the agent, right? Join this program, register for this. They are going to reach out to you once you register. There is a whole process there. And this program can act, I think, end of this program, definitely, I'm confident that you will be able to build your own agent, right? So that can be one of the way to start. Another is I mean, you can go through my playlist, which I have explained. You can go through that and then just get your hands dirty, start, right? Don't wait someone to come and tell you that, okay, what to build. And Copilot Studio, you get a 1 month free subscription, which means you can start a trial. You can actually start using with your own credentials. So I think that would be my suggestion for everyone here to get started in this learning journey. Okay. Any other question before we move to these questions which we have on our screen? No?
Okay.
Don't be shy. This is an open forum. We have built like just to come out and talk to each other. So we are not here. Maybe you can tell us something which you think is it can be helpful for other people here. Okay, if you any one of you have anything to say. Nothing? Okay. Maybe Ragnar, I was going through these questions and if I can summarize these things, right? There were questions like about the AI role and everything. I think there are, and I mean, we are people are very specific, possibly here in Dynamics 365 only. I think one thing is they want to know how to start their learning journey. So I think we kind of answered that. Start with your at least the basics of Copilot Studio, learn that how it works, maybe sign up for this Power Up program from Microsoft. It's a great way to start this. But if you want to possibly tell us that in a ERP ecosystem, right? What are the top 3 or 4 use cases you think this whole AI and Copilot can solve in the ERP implementation, right? So that it gives a possibly a thought process to the people here to understand the power of this agentic, because sometimes it happens, right? It happened with me earlier. I mean, I know this can do something really good, but I'm not able to think myself that, okay, what use cases I should be starting with. As a beginner, I'm not able to think at that level at all. So if you possibly give few examples for the people who are starting, how Copilot AI in their regular day-to-day job as consultant or as an architect in any implementation, when they are talking to customer, how they should think about the use cases in that area, possibly. That would be a good thing to share.
A couple examples. I can say one example, right? If you're implementing, you're a consultant. I saw that question somewhere. The 3 things I can think of are, first thing is you are no longer implementing modules going forward. The goal should be you're designing some kind of AI workflow or intelligent workflows that you're going to build. So the main thing is, I think prompt engineering, we kept saying it, and then no one wants to talk about prompt engineering now. But building prompt chains and validating responses is very key in using AI agents anywhere you go. Because you could ask a question and then it doesn't give you the answer. And then a lot of the times when I built around 35 agents internally, and one of the biggest lesson I learned was don't say the user is wrong, right? I was like, oh, you asked it in a wrong way. So building that prompt chains and validating responses is going to be very important. And like I mentioned, the other one was map workflows to digital signals. So look at what the signals you're getting and map those workflows to the one that are actually agent. And then use Copilot Studio and Power Automate. Just start building Copilot Studio agents. Start building agents in such a way that you can actually go learn about them, and you can actually try building different kinds of agent that will work or that will not work, and that is going to help you a lot more than you can think. And simple RAG agents are a great way to start anything you want to do. And in my view, let me share this once again, Sarah, for 1 minute. I think
Yep.
this, I think building that thing behind the scenes is going to help you a lot. Is you need to understand. I'm going to share. If you don't even think about, so one of the things I learned is Copilot Studio. I cannot build an agent. And there are a lot of ways you can build an agent. And one of the things is I've been building this thing like. One of the example is if you're in sales, you need an RFP agent. How can you build an RFP agent that will answer 2,000 questions in less than 4 minutes, right? So that's something you can think about. And if you are in sales, or if you're talking to someone with SAP or something, how do you build a compete agent? You can build a compete agent that will work for you and answer the questions you have. And small things like that are going to actually help you think about solution much better. And this business consulting agent is fun because you also will learn. Let's say your customer wants a report in a certain way. How do you train an agent to give that report in that certain way they want? And by building outside agents or whatever, you are learning a lot of these things outside of it, and then that is what is going to help you to find those things. And the other example I want to share is this is the simplest thing I posted a couple times, but one of the things is if you are ever building an agent, this is the simplest framework I've came up with. One is you need to describe what agent you're building. Either it will be ERP, CRM, wherever you're building, you need to understand what is that agent. Then you also need to understand what's the core functionality that it has. And then what knowledge do you think it should use? I think having these three things in alignment will help you to start thinking of agents properly. And one of the things I didn't mention was previously I had this thing where people were like, I built an agent, then like without the agent they used to do this work. How do you help your customers understand the agent is a collaborator for you? You still do the same process, your output is a delivery still. How do you augment it and say you collaborate with the agent is the key thing for you to understand? So those are the few things I would say. And then also, as I'm sharing already, someone asked about this Microsoft AI offline capabilities. There is 5.3 family. I'm going to share this as well so you can understand. But there are a lot of limitations that will happen. So if you go with other things on AI Studio, there are other things available. But if you want to go with OpenAI, GPT, or any other things, those are not available offline because they are very huge and big parameters. So that is something to think about and understand. But within Azure AI Foundry, there is an amazing way for you to test this out and ask questions through the agent itself. To be honest, I literally went to Azure AI Foundry and figured all this out and presented it for our presentation here. And then one other thing I want to share, Sarah, or if you have a question, let's ask someone. We have someone here.
Yeah, I think
Hang
someone
on.
else. Tarek,
Yeah.
yeah, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, please. I used Copilot for a couple of tasks, integrating with Dynamics finance and operations, and it's super helpful. But I found the cost is a little bit high. So don't you think that the cost of the agents might be the game changer in integrating the agents in the ERP customers? Because I think I read that the cost is $30 per agent, and it's per month. So
Yeah. Tarek, the cost is high because we don't have users.
yes.
Once we have more users, the cost will go down. But cost is not something I can talk about. But you're right in a way. I agree with you. But I think the more agents we are going to build, one of the things that I didn't say here, but one of the things to understand behind the scenes for us is currently everyone is building an agent with ChatGPT 4.0, right? But if you
Yeah.
just need to get a silly answer or just retrieve something, you don't need 4.0, right? So you will actually build much better, smarter solutions going forward through agents For a small task, you won't be using the same agent. And that is what's going to reduce the cost going forward. And this is something that everyone is trying to work behind the scenes. So even in ChatGPT, when you ask, one of the things it does is behind the scenes when it's retrieving information, it uses smaller models. But when your output, just for the summarization, it uses 4.0. And same, so does Perplexity and others as well. So this is something that will come to the agents that you're building as well. And in my view, in my like real experience, I'm thinking that is when the cost will go down. Currently, we don't know how to optimize that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for the session.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And just to on that part, right? On the cost part, I mean, there are different pricing mechanism as well available. So, like you have a pay as you go based on the messages and all those things. But one of the thing which I know for sure, like if you have a strong customer with strong use cases and things you have built and you find the cost is very high, definitely you can reach out to Microsoft. They can definitely bring a better deal for you or better way to optimize that cost, right? So because that's one of the thing which Microsoft is always encouraging, that use the agent, build the agent, and if there is some hurdle in that, right, definitely they will help you out. Sagar?
Yeah, hi Ragnar. Yes, Saurabh. My question is, how can a Dynamic 365 consultant stay a future focus? Means they focus on AI related, they focus on consultant based using procurement sourcing, advanced warehousing. So how to focus to exactly in 2025?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Ragnar, go ahead. I think.
I don't know. We are also trying to struggle the same questions, Sagar. We want to get to that AI too. But my biggest thing is always about what are you building and how do you share that what you're learning. And that sharing is something that we have noticed is how you kind of learn faster too. But most importantly, figure out prompt designing, figure out agent designing, understand um, I don't know, business AI fluency or whatever you can think of, right? Sometimes thinking of solutions that you might be already doing something. So if you already have a problem, how do you think AI can solve there is one thing. But one main thing I keep telling all my friends and everyone is use AI on your day-to-day basis because that's what will turn you into getting a smarter UI AI person because you keep asking questions and then you realize, oh, if I ask this way, it's better or the other way. But also the framework I showed you, thinking about functionality, knowledge, resources for that agent, and key aspects like what is RAG agent, what is an MCP, what is A2A, how do they work. Having that understanding is always going to lead you to the right solution.
Okay,
And
thank
one
you.
of the thing which I've been doing, you need to put extra effort. Okay. You if you think that you can continue working how you have been working till now, I don't think so that is going to work for us, right? So be it at any level, you are a senior consultant, lead consultant, architect, or senior leader, or even if you are a leader in your organization, right? If you don't spend time in the learning right today, I don't think so. We can get up to the speed, and you will feel behind. That, oh, I didn't know about these so many things. One of the simple thing which I follow is every day half an hour to 45 minutes is specific for the learning. Now that learning you can decide whether you want to focus on this AI, Copilot, and everything which you have, or you want to also focus on the traditional things, right? One of the key things you should not also forget, and then all these things, right? If you are going to continue working in the ERP space, that, oh, the building the agents and everything, but you have forgot how the core capabilities, core business processes and things works for any customer, right? So you should not also deviate your focus from the core things which you require as a consultant, right? Like a business process understanding. I mean, whichever the agent you build, right? The process is not going to change, right? The AI is going to make that process autonomous, efficient. not like changing that process, right? So you have to equally focus on both the sides, right? So earlier you had a one area to focus, now you have two areas to focus, right? That's how you should start. And in Dynamics, you have a feature management workspace. Start exploring some new features, look at some videos, do some hands-on from your end itself, right? That's how you can keep up to the speed. Hey, I think on this screen we have kind of answered most of the things, the role in AI, the offline capability, the use cases, the performance things, right? I think this one is Copilot assistant preparing the questionnaire for gathering requirement. And I think one of the good use case, which I think Ragnar, you were talking about the RFP process. So it's a kind of a similar use case which you can build, right? So yeah. Maybe I will move next. Besides Copilot Studio, what percentage of Power Platform apps are used on day-to-day basis of D365 functional role? To get started, I think Ragnar mentioned very clearly the Copilot Studio. Along with that, you need to learn the Power Automate, right? So everyone is when they think about the AI and agent, I think one of the thing, the basic use case come to your mind is automate something, right? Now, one of the basic tool which you can use from Power Platform is the Power Automate. Be it a workflow, be it creating some record information, capturing the information, and all those things. So I think Power Automate is one of the thing which you can start learning. The second is everything works for the reporting and analytics. So Power BI, Fabric is another part which you also can focus as consultant there.
Okay. Saurabh, I want to answer this. Companies want to implement AI with ERP, but they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question because that's what's happening currently with everyone. First thing would be to like, actually, it's always solving the business value proposition. So, what we want to do is how can we solve that business value? How can we bring business value with any solution we bring to the customer? And then is AI the right solution there? I think you understand anyone who can understand the business process, like Saurabh saying, and also seeing if AI is a good solution there is what we need to understand. So there is not a solution problem now that do they need what kind of AI solution they need. The problem still is what is the problem that they're having, and can we solve that with AI? I think that's how we should still go with it. We just shouldn't be just adding AI agents for the sake of adding AI agents. So sometimes customers came to us and said, we need an AI agent for this. And like, no, that's a Power Automate thing, right? So you still guide them to say no to where AI is not the best solution. But if you really want to help them with AI solutions or they don't know what they want, I would always start with their business problem or how do I add business value to you with any solution that I'm bringing. And if I bring with AI, then you're solving an AI business value proposition.
Yeah, absolutely true. And I think that's a very valid question. Everyone is possibly struggling, maybe feeling the pressure of AI, but they don't know what to do with that, right? How to implement and what to implement. Uh, I think a couple of other ones are, I think, agent track the if action has not happened. So I think that's a very good use case. The Silva you are asking, like if there is something which you are expecting in the system, and if you want system to notify, again, I would say that's your automation which you can simply build on based on some certain condition that hey, if there is no record, if you are expecting based on certain condition on a everyday basis, just check it out and send a notification if there is nothing created or something, right? Regarding AI and its licenses, very good point. I think we touched upon the cost part just now, but I think that key licenses required are first is for building the agent, right, which is your Copilot license if you are using Copilot Studio, right? That is one thing. But once you build your agent, once it is in a working condition, once it is running by the end users and things, The costing of that is bit different. It works based on the messages. That means how many the to and fro messages are happening for basically when you are asking something to that agent and then agent is going and checking and responding you back, right? Is called messages. So normally right now in Microsoft ecosystem for the agent, that is how the costing is done. Now that is based on number of messages you can buy in one go as a fixed cost, like for your organization, or you can have a pay as you go, like as number of messages you consume in a month, and then you do. I think per message cost right now for first party agents, which Microsoft has launched, like reconciliation, supplier communication, time and expense, all for all these agents, I think there is a $0.01 for a message. I think there is or 0.25 or some I think it's a very less cost, but it depends how many messages are happening, right? So then it comes down to the uses of that agent basically later on. uh, how can I learn AI and leverage it for helping becoming better consultant? I think Anisha, we have I think spoken too much today, I think so. If there is any specific you can ask that question, but let me move to the next one. How can we leverage AI in a on-premises deployment? I think Ragnar, you have just shared that how Copilot can help us in implementations. Definitely, uh, the someone asked the question right about the questionnaire for building the use cases, then also business process optimization, right? So a lot of things you can think of in that part. What specific learning we should do to adopt to Copilot? I think I've shared a couple of like Power Up program, my YouTube playlist, Ragnar's YouTube. So you can start or Microsoft official learn about this if you are just want to focus on the Microsoft ecosystem. What are the different use cases for AI in FNO? I think it's very hard to say that because it all depends on industry to industry. But yeah, we just spoken about a couple of use cases. So all the first party agents are the better way to look into that, what use cases you can have right now. Where and how can we utilize the AI and Copilot during our implementations? Yeah, I think it's a mindset, right? I mean, it's not about how you have been doing earlier. You can continue doing that. I think there should be a way to bring this thought process in the entire implementation cycle. And I think the right way is when you are in the your discovery or build phase of the project to think about what you can bring to the table based on the processes and the requirement customer has. What opportunity do you see to make it more efficient using the AI use cases? What is the use case of Copilot through the Power Platform? Supplier communication agent. I think supplier communication agent, Microsoft has a tech talk and a lot of dynamics by it, so you can go through that. But one thing which I'm thinking is, Ragnar, is apart from like what the questions they have asked, the lot of people are struggling in thinking of use case. So as I said, like which was my also the struggle was in the beginning. I know, okay, there is a tool, everything available, but what do I do? Like how do I think about the use case? I think that is I can figure it out that people are more struggling to know that what how to think about the use cases.
Okay. I think there are two ways. I don't want to say the first one because we can ignore that for this session is knowing the problem, right? Like what problem does your customer have? If there is no problem, there's no use case. So
Yeah.
that's the simplest thing I would say. But I was actually looking at this thing. One of the things I do is I look at, so there is this RAG application, right? So there is a question here, like, how do I use it during my implementation of something? And that's a good problem. So we already have a problem. But the solution is you cannot think of a use case and you cannot think of a solution unless you know do I need to build a RAG application for it? Do I need to build a RAG agent? Do I need to build a MCP server? So you need to understand the clear concepts first in order to do that. And so that is the first thing to know is if you understand, I know how to build RAG agents. That's RAG agents work by retrieving data and providing the output the way we need it. So if I'm on an implementation or if I'm doing one of the examples we use for implementations right now is we listen to our customer calls, we take all the notes and recordings, and in the ADO, it actually creates user stories automatically now. So that's the agent we kind of built, right? So that's actually taking RAG, taking that thing and then outputting something in a format that I can import into ADO. So that's one of the use cases that we have built. But with your customers, a lot of the times, if you're thinking of a use case, a lot of the times people ask me the question was, um, someone asked some question there, and the answer was literally, it's a Power Automate, right? It's not an AI agent because if there is a field that I'm expecting it to have a certain value, if it does not have that value, then it's a Power Automate or a workflow thing we can trigger and do it. But if the field is vague and you have to interpret something like what does the field mean? So let's say notes or comments, right? So there is in CRM, we built this agent recently thinking about the solution is when the notes are made, the agent actually reads apply discount code or applied 15% discount to customer, right? So notes could have all the things in it, but the agent is able to detect, do I need to apply discount to this customer or not for the next billing cycle? Instead of the user going and doing this, the agent can do that. So, but that is also a RAG solution that we have thought about there. So those are the areas I would say we need to think like that. And if you're an ISV person, your use case is, let's say I'm working with 3PL warehouse, and I need to always get the invoice, sorry, get the 3PL will send the parcel. So we need to get the tracking information. The 3PL has its own inventory system that's different than ours. And if you change a product name in your thing, you want to make sure product names changed on their system as well. In those cases, you actually ask a request. We actually are doing this with one of our vendors from Microsoft directly. I requested someone to build an MCP server on their end, and I'm going to connect my Copilot to their MCP server. Because instead of doing APIs, I told them to do that. So that's the use case that came because I understood what kind of solution I want to build. So besides knowing the problem, maybe the other way to think about is what kind of solutions can I build will help you to think of use cases and solve the use cases that you never thought was a use case before.
Yep, absolutely right. And I mean, on to the point. But yeah, thank you so much, Ragnar. I think we are almost over time now. So possibly we'll wrap up. And there are other questions which were not AI and Copilot. What I'm going to do is, guys, like I will write the response on that. And when I upload this PowerPoint, I'm going to do it with those response, what I think about those questions, right? So with that, we wrap up for today's session. Thank you all for joining today, taking out the time, and then being here, right, with us over the weekend. We will have next session on we will have next session on the next month Saturday, which is I think the 6th of September. Okay, so we will share the link with you. I mean, I think here it is. So you can join us next month on 6th September. You can scan this QR code, submit your questions, feedback about today's session, what you liked, what you want us to do it in future, right? We are also in a learning stage and it's an open forum for all of us. So feel free to share your feedback, your thought processes, and share with your networks, with the people whom it can benefit, right? So thank you for joining again and taking out time over the weekends and really appreciate that. So with that, we close today's session and thank you, Ragnar, for getting up early in the morning on Saturday. right? Very difficult. Okay, so thank you for doing that. And talk to you soon then. Yep.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.